Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video I'm going to get into another multiple palettes, multiple looks. So I've got some things from Glamlite, from Beaute Bar, Adept Cosmetics, Adept, and Electrum. So we're going to do that, but before we get into all the looks and everything, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree. I'm a crazy lover of all things beauty. I love to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, and I like to do a lot on indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. So like I said, I've got 5 palettes here, and then I also have some like blushes and highlighters. These right here are from the Lethal and Adventure Time collection, which I also have the beautiful little palette right here. I'll be using the Adept Emo palette, the Electrum Dark Winter palette, and then the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth palette from Glamlite, and the new revamped Nearly Natural palette from Glaminatrix. I will have another video coming up with other palettes, the other half of palettes that I featured in a comparison swatch video, but I had to split them up because these videos would be too long if I tried to do 10 looks in one. That would be crazy. So that is basically what we're gonna do. I'm gonna test them out, see how the formula is, and then give you guys my like final kind of first impressions at the end. And you know, I always come back in the future and do like rankings on palettes I've tried multiple times and test it out and give you like my final official thoughts. So that's basically it for this video. I think we should dive into the looks. So we're going to get into this first look, and I'm going to start off with the Adventure Time Candy Kingdom palette, the collab with Lethal Cosmetics. But first we'll get into the cheap products in the collection. So for this look, I think the orange one's going to be the best option for this palette and what I have in mind. I'm going to take this stippling brush. This was from Beaute Cosmetics. And these are kind of like putties. They remind me a lot of the ColourPop Super Shock blushes. And I'm just going to stipple this on. Ooh, a lot picked up on that stippling brush. And let me see if I can put some on this side too. Wow, okay. It picked up really nicely, has good pigmentation. Usually these kind of formulas, I like using stippling brushes. Oh, that's a nice little warm moment. So now we're going to get into the Rainicorn highlighter, this cutie right here. It's one of those rainbow striped highlighters. It's going to be hard to see with this like bright lighting, but I think I'm going to focus towards the bottom because it's more goldeny and green on the bottom. I'll do like little stripes to just see what kind of different highlighter you can create, and then maybe one of the looks I'll just swirl them all together. But I think I'm going to go with that. Ooh, yes, there is gold and like orange and green towards the bottom on this highlighter. Look how intense it is. Ooh, I am feeling this. It feels very smooth too. It's one of those iridescent highlighters that have like a strong color shift. And I love that you have all these little stripes in it so you can have like different colors based on like where you focus in the pan, or you can swirl it all together and have rainbow magic on the cheeks. Now we're gonna get into this eye look. Now I look a bit different because I went and put on some primer. I actually have the Juvia's Place Eye Primer on my eyes because this is the lightest primer I have in my collection. It's in shade 1 and it's really light, so it helps like pastels like really pop. So I'm gonna jump into probably the deepest shade in this palette, which is the Peppermint Butler one, this blue right here, just to add some contrast. I'm not going to like use it all through the crease. I just want to put it right on the outer corner, and then the rest will really be concentrating onto the pastels. But I just love that they included some depth in this palette, and I am going to bring that shade down on the outer corner too with this like flat shader brush and just connect it. Kind of get the shape a little better on this outer corner. For the center, I want to go on with a green shade. I'm taking this blendy flat kind of brush from Kaleidos, and I'm going to go into the shade called Soko, which is the pastel. Here we are finally getting into the pastel moments, and I'm going to concentrate that on the center here and just really pack it on, bring it up to the crease. I'm just starting off with the mattes first. I'll definitely use the shimmers in the palette too, because I just can't avoid a pastel-y shimmer. I just remember I want it to blend out the edge of this blue dark matte, so I am going to go into Pop Gang, and I'm just going to go over the edge a bit and bring in a little bit of a pastel moment over here. I'm using this like rougher brush, just kind of graze the edge. Just wanted to use a pastel blue over here, and I'm going to use it down here too to graze the edge of the bottom to get that to look blended. And then for the inner portion, I want to go in with Banana Guard. I can't avoid a kind of neon-y yellow, and I'm going to go in with one of these. I think it's a Luxie brush, and I'm going to stamp that right here and just really put that in there. Oh, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And I'll bring it into the inner corner too, and just even bring it up here too past the crease. So now we're gonna get into some other colors on this lower lash line just to bring in some more fun elements into the look. So I'm going to take the shade called Royal Tarte, this one right here, this pink. And I'm going to bring that down here in like the center part and just add some more fun color down here. I'm using this like a little rougher brush. And then for the very inner portion, I think I'm going to go into Science. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to clean it off here and just slap a little orange moment right there. Now we got the rainbow vibes going on here. So now we can get into the shimmers and see what magic we can create. So I'm going to start off with Mr. Cupcake, this deep blue. And I think I'm just going to use my finger and just put it right here in the outer corner. It's the deepest metallic that's in the palette. So if you wanted to do an all shimmer look, you also have a shimmer that could use as a contrasting shade against the lighter ones. And this one, I believe, has like a purple shift to it. But it looks so good. It's so smooth, but also sparkly and shifty. And then for green, I have to go into lemongrass. Or no, lemon crab. Lemon grab. What the hell? I can't read. And go into the center part. Yes, it looks so good. For the very inner portion, we're going to take Candy Castle, the yellow. Just pop it right here. For the very inner corner, I think I'm just going to pop a little bit of white onto the very inner portion just to brighten it up a little more. I'm going to go into Marshmallow Kids, plural, and I'm just going to snap that there. And it's going to make that inner corner just pop even more. You see how pigmented that white is? Wow. And then we might as well do something for the brow bone. So I'm going to take the shade called Candy Elemental. This one right here, it has like a blue shift to it. And I'm just going to pop that up here. And use that to brighten there. I didn't even wet the brush. It just went straight into it. Maybe take this like a little brush that I went in with the pink and the orange, and maybe slap a little bit of Netty down there. But this time I'm going to wet the brush to avoid some fallout. So let me get that. I don't know, I felt like we need a little pop of shimmer down there. And I'll put it like right over the orange, and it's going to stay orange. It's just going to add a shimmer And this one has like a orange to pink shift. So I'm gonna go do the other eye, work on blend, work on, you know, the extra details, something in the waterline, and then I'll be back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I am back and here is the completed look. And yes, the background's a lot darker because it's storming outside. I lost some natural lighting, but I went ahead and bedazzled the hell out of myself. I couldn't help it. I put some candy gems, butterflies, a flower. I'm just feeling so cute with this look. But let me lower the brightness a bit so I can really show you guys the gems and the shimmers. Like, look at those shimmers and look at these gems. So this is a candy with a wrapper around it, a butterfly, a gummy bear, a flower, and little sparkly gems in between. I think it looks so cute. It turned out so fun. Let me turn the brightness back up. And then where I got these gems were actually from Amazon. There are these two big packets that have a bunch of different shapes in here. There's hearts, butterflies, flowers, lollipops, all types of things. So many options. I use these gems all the time. They're from Amazon. If I can remember, I will try to link them below where I got them from Amazon, because they're just so fun if you want to like spice a look up a little bit. And then for the rest of the look, I went in with the Lights Camera Lashes Platinum Mascara from Tarte, my fave right now. And for liner, I decided to go with a blue instead of black. So I felt like that was going to be too harsh for the look. So I have the Lethal Cosmetics liner that was part of the Avatar collection. I think this was in the Katara set. It's this beautiful blue to do a wing. And then for the waterline, I wanted to keep things bright and light, so I went in with the NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk right there. It just gives a lot of pop. And then for my lips, I actually have an Uden's Eye lippie on, which is right here. It's the one from the Judy collab that they did, I think the Spring Dragon collection. And this is the shade Tulips. It's a matte formula. This pink matches the pink over here perfectly. I just thought the pinky lip was perfect. So that was everything for this look. Hopefully you guys love it. I would totally rock this and go to like a party or something. I feel like I'm giving Summerween because that's apparently a thing now. But anyways, I think we can now get into the next look. We're gonna get into the next look, and I think I'm going to dive into this palette right here, the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth palette. But of course, we need blush, so I'm going to test out this one from the Lethal Adventure Time collection, the pink one, the Princess Bubblegum Blush. And I'm gonna get this little stippling brush and put that on my cheeks. I love a cool tone pink blush moment. And these are just so easy to blend in, cream to powders, basically giving the ColourPop Super Shock blush feel, just in terms of like the matte one that they have. But now let's put on the highlighter from the Lethal collection. And maybe we'll concentrate down here on this end. It looks like there's like a pinky one I can kind of pull up on. We'll see if I can concentrate on one end and see what happens. So I'm gonna go right here. Technically it's like the top of the highlighter, and use that. Ooh, hoo, hoo. I love little rainbow highlighters. If you concentrate on certain sections, you can get it to be, you know, a different kind of highlight, instead of like mixing them all together. Even though like the little stripes are small, but if you get like a little brush in there, you can totally do that. As you see, that one has more of a pink little reflect to it. Now we can get into the palette, and I'm thinking a smoky grayish kind of look with maybe a periwinkle pop. I think that's where I'm going with this one. So I'm gonna take the shade Gandalf, and I'm gonna use that through the crease. It's my like, you know, initial transition. I feel like I don't usually go for grays very often, but we're gonna make it work. Now I'm gonna pull in some more into this look. So I'm thinking Aragorn. It's kind of a grayish green though. Is that gonna make it pull really green? We'll see, we'll see. So I didn't want to go straight to black, because kind of want it to slowly build there, but because I have the gray through the crease, I'm thinking this shade will probably lean more gray, even though there is an olive tone to it. And then I'm going to use the same brush and now go into Sauron, the matte black, and just put that on the outer corner here. I'm not going to take it too far in, just right there for a little smoky. Now I'm going to do the lower lash line and just use the gray shades as well. Yeah, I'm just going to take this little shader brush. And I'm gonna start off with, I think, Aragorn, the greenish one, down here and bring that through. But I'm gonna leave space in the front because I don't want it to get too dark down here. And I will bring in that Gandalf shade to make things a little bit more on the grayer leaning side. But let me take some of Sauron the black out here as well. Connect it up to this outer corner. And now we can get into some of these shades, starting off with Legolas. This like a grungy, like gunmetal shade. And I'm gonna put that towards the end here where I have the darkest matte and towards the center. I think we need Fellowship, a little bit of that in the inner portion. I'm just using my finger. This is like a lavender to blue. Oh, that is so gorgeous. And I'm gonna just layer that up here. And then we're gonna take the Even Star shade, the Periwinkle, and I'm gonna try to make that work in the inner corner for some brightening. I wish it was just a little bit lighter, but it's still working to add a pop. So I'm just gonna really pack that matte in there. So I am going to take Galadriel, this very icy metallic, and I'm gonna put that over the inner corner a bit just because I want it to be a little bit more bright. There we go. This adds like an extra little pop there. I'm gonna take a little bit, I think, of Bilbo, use that on the brow bone. I think that will be light enough. Oh, that's a pretty color. I actually kind of want to take that on the lid too, like maybe right in between the periwinkle kind of metallic and that darker gray metallic. Yeah, like for like a little halo effect. Ooh, that did a great job. So I'm going to go do my other eye, finish off the look, liner and all that, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back and here is the completed look, and I think it came out so stunning. I added some liner detail, like an arch here with some metallic liner, added a gem here and a gem up here just to give a elvish vibe, because those are like my favorite characters in the Lord of the Rings besides Frodo Baggin. We can't forget him. But I love how this turned out. I'm gonna lower the brightness just so you guys can really see the sparkly magic on my lids with my little flashlight from my phone. Look at that. These metallics I feel are extra sparkly than from what I remember from Glamlite. So very happy with that. And you can see the little details I added. Just think this look came out so pretty. I'm really feeling it. So let me get into the details of what I did use off camera. So for the little arch thing that I did, I used the Unearthly Cosmetics Immortality eyeliner. I think this is from the Charmer collection. I keep saying Dreamer, but I think this was part of a Charmer box thing that they had. It's just like a metallic liner that has like a pinky shift to it. It looks periwinkle, but then there's that pink shift. I don't know if you guys can tell that. And then for gems, I just used some gems that I got from Adept Cosmetics this pack when they were still a brand. Love this. And then for my liner, I use the DHC liquid liner to create the wing. And for my waterline, I have the Udensai Somone gel liner in, I think this is number 7. It's just like a periwinkle color. And then for the lips, I went in with this liquid lipstick from Lethal Cosmetics. I don't know if they sell these lippies anymore, but this is the Chimera liquid lipstick in Latitude. I think it goes really well with the eye look. And for mascara, I have the Platinum Lights Camera Lashes Tarte mascara that I've been using so much lately. And that is everything for this look. For the cheeks, I really love how this came together. It was really easy to make this look. Like, I just really enjoyed the shadows. Anyway, so that was everything for this look. We can now get into the next one. Alright loves, we're gonna get into the next look, but first I'm gonna put on blush. So I'm gonna go into this purple one to pair it with the Adept Cosmetics Emo palette. So I did not set my cheeks or anything, and I'm just gonna put it on. It is more on the cooler side, so yeah, I'm just using the stippling brush that I did with the other blushes, and I'm gonna put that on my cheeks. I just love this formula. And look at that beautiful little lavender moment. So I'm just gonna stipple that in. So now we'll get into the highlighter. And I'm thinking maybe just concentrate in the center here, which is kind of a bluey highlighter. I'm sure we'll mix with some other things. Did I even mention what the purple one was called? This one is called Lumpy Space Princess Blush. And then we're putting, of course, the Lady Rainicorn one on. So now we can get into the emo palette, and we're going to start off with a shade called Storm. Yeah, this one right here. It's kind of like a muted, almost kind of denim blue matte, and I'm just gonna run that through the crease. I did not set my primer, by the way. I'm just gonna work that through. It's gonna be my little initial transition shade. I love this kind of blue, nice and muted. I'm gonna take the shade called Grayable. This one right here. Kind of like a purplish periwinkle. Like a grayish lavender. I think more than like a grayish blue. And now we're gonna get a little deeper, because you know me. I'm going to go into Deep Abyss. That one doesn't look like a true black matte. It almost looks like a really, really deep black and blue shade. And I'm just gonna concentrate that on the outer corner. I'm just using the same brush for all the shades. Now I'm gonna just take all the same mattes on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go into Storm, the blue that I used initially through the crease, and run that through, but leaving a little bit of space in the front. And then I'm gonna take the shade Deep Abyss, that black and blue, and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner and connect up. So now let's get into some of these shimmers. Like I said, I definitely want to use another hollow. It's a holographic shade, and look, oh my god, there's like green, it looks like blue, and purple going on. It's definitely like a trichrome. I'm assuming next to like the blue shades, it's gonna pick up more on that blue. But can you guys see the green, the purple? Oh my gosh, this is a stunning, darker, saturated, holographic, shifty goodness right here. And now I want to go into the shade called MCI. Or MC1, I think. And I'm gonna use that in the inner portion. This is like a periwinkle shade, but it has like pink to it, and I think this is also a holochrome. Oh, I can just see all like the multicolor shimmers. And now we're gonna get into some green magic here. I'm gonna go into the shade called Pear, which is like a lighter sage, and I'm gonna kind of build that up in the inner portion. Ooh, it's very pigmented. And then I'm thinking I should do maybe Allure, this one, over the inner portion. Oh yeah, that was a good choice. I just wanted to brighten that little inner corner. Maybe I might even want to go over it with Seafoam. It's a little bit more of a cooler light green. Ooh, oh, that made it pop even more. And then we might as well take some of Dormant. This one down here, it has a green to it, but there's some kind of other shift. And I'm gonna pop some down here. Oh yeah. And then for brow bone highlight, we might as well take the shade called Whisper. This one looks like it might have some pink to it. There's like a pinkiness, but I'm gonna just pop it there, right in that brow bone. Ooh, she's blinded. Well, maybe we want to take a little bit of Cool Dust. It's like a really grayish metallic, and use it on the edge over here. Just to use like another shade, like why not, right? Just gonna add some more shiny depth in the outer corner. And I think that's what I want to do. I think this looks really good. I'm loving the green combo. I'm happy with this. So I am gonna go do my other eye off camera, figure out a lippie, all that good stuff, and then I'll be back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look. Green and blue. I mean, who could be upset with that kind of color combo? I love how this turned out, and I didn't do anything extra because these shimmers are stunning. They don't need anything extra. No extra bling is needed. I'm of course going to show you guys my eye look up close because that's what I do. So let's lower the brightness and show you guys these shimmers. Look at that. Look at the sparkle. I don't know if you guys can tell, they're like holographic and shifty and just stunning. I just feel like a little smoky, lovely little lady right now with this look. But yes, very cool tone, very me. So I didn't do too much off camera to complete this look, but I did go in with my fave mascara, the Tarte Platinum Lights Camera Lashes mascara. And then for liner, the Huge BHC liquid liner to create a wing. And then for my waterline, I went in with the LA Girl Shockwave metallic eyeliner in Ocean to go with like the blue mattes that I have on my eyes. And then for the lips, I have this Lethal Lippie. This is one of their matte lip creams. This is in the shade Vapour. It's like a cool tone, like nude. I thought it would be perfect for this eye look, a little bit more muted so we can focus on the bold saturatedness of the eye look. And I think that's it for what I used off camera since I didn't do anything extra. And I'm loving the little purpley blush. I think this came out really nice. What do you guys think of this? Oh, I mean, Adept Cosmetics never disappoints me. They always make the most stunning shimmers, and I feel like they've improved their mattes a lot. So that was everything for the Emo palette. We can now get into the next look. Today, we're gonna get into the Glaminatrix revamped Nearly Natural palette. But of course, we need blush. I don't even have bronzer on yet. But I wanted to give this a whirl. This is the Marceline Cream Blush from the Lethal and Adventure Time collection. And this is the one that has like a dewy formula. So first I'm gonna try to put it on with my finger. It looks like a black blush, but it's probably gonna be more reddish. I did not put any powder on yet here. Okay, this is a little concerning. Do I look like I just like bruised my face? Maybe, but I'm gonna like try to blend it in. So here's the blush all blended in and stuff. I think it looks okay. I think I might have pulled the blush a little too far down, and there's like somewhat of a bluish hue to it, so I feel like it almost makes my cheeks look a bit bruised. And I probably put on too much, but story of my life. But I'm gonna go into the highlighter now, the Rainicorn, Lady Rainicorn, and I'm just mixing it all together, and I'm just going to put that on my cheeks, get some glow going. I'm gonna get into the Nearly Natural palette, and I'm going for like a smoky reddish look. Hence why I have this kind of color top on. So I'm going to start off with the shade called Naturally, which is more of like a reddish brown. And just off the excess. Ooh, these shadows are extra powdery. And just run that through the crease. Oh, there's a lot of There's a lot of depth to this shade. I don't know, maybe, did I have some black on this brush? Knowing me, it wasn't like totally clean. So let's switch to like this brush. Maybe this will be better. Or it's just that pigmented and deep, which I love for me. But let me get another brush. And we'll use this one right here to blend out the edges. And I'm thinking Barely There will be the best option. It's in the row with this one. And I'm going to run that on the edge of that shade. So I'm going to go into Cinder, the black, so why not? And I'm going to dust off the excess, and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner. See, I'm one of those people that I swear always uses a matte black in a palette. And I know some people are like, I never use that shade, or every brand puts a black matte. But to me, it's so essential. I know I could easily pull it from like another palette, but just to have it already within the palette I'm working with is convenient. So I'm gonna take Naturally on the lower lash line and just run it through. Just use all the same mattes I used up here. The usual deal. So now I want to go into Smolder, because I never can avoid like a black metallic kind of shade. It's like, look at that. It's like the galaxy. I'm gonna put that here. And I think I'm gonna take it on most of my lid. Look how sparkly that shade is. Oh my gosh. I just love these kind of metallics. For the inner portion, because I always like to have a little bit of lightness there, and I don't tend to take the darkness all the way to the very inner portion. So I'm thinking a little bit of Nearly Natural, this shade up here. To me, it's kind of like a nudie rose gold. And I'm gonna stick it right there. Okay, I should have wet my brush for that one. I got sparkle fallout galore. So let me spray it, but not surprised. These are very sparkly metallics. And I'm just gonna pop that right there. Yes, yes, I just needed something to keep the inner portion a little bit brighter. But the sparkle is real on this shade as well. So for the very inner corner, what shall we do? Should we do pink? Yeah, I think this one right here, the Unveiled shade, it's like a pinky lighter metallic, and I'm taking this flat brush right here, and I'm also going to wet the brush with some water, and then I'm gonna pop it right here. Oh, that's a perfect shade for this look. And then we need a brow bone movement, so I think I'm gonna do Naked Eye on the brow bone. I'm just gonna use the same flat shader brush that I used for the inner corner, and just pick it up and plop it right here. It's kind of an icy metallic. Yes, it's making the brow bone pop. To go and do my other eye, figure out something for the waterline, work a little bit on the blend some more, figure out something for the lips, and then I will be back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I'm back, and here's the completed look, and I'm feeling super sexy, vampy, like I'm ready to go out. I feel like I should go salsa dancing tonight with this look. Just put on a cute like black dress with some heels. I'd just be ready to go. I might just do that. I love how this turned out, and the formula is so beautiful. Now, I love the original Nearly Natural, but I do feel like the metallics in here are extra sparkly in this new revamped one. But let me lean in to show you guys the sparkle with my handy dandy flashlight. Look at that. Do you see that matte? Not matte, that metallic black. Oh my gosh, it's so sparkly. And even the metallics in the inner portion. Oh, it looks like a starry night sky. I really love that shade. Honestly, it might be the best like black metallic that I have in my collection. And then for the rest of the look, I wanted to keep things smoky. So I went in with a black liner in my waterline and tight lined with it. This is from Trestique. I don't know if they sell this liner anymore. I've had it for a long time. And then I wanted a vampy, like reddish lip. So I went in with the Give Me Glow soft red lip liner. And then I originally went into the Adept Cosmetics collab with the Avatar Last Airbender, the lipstick in My. But I felt like it was giving more of like a warmer, like deeper red, and I wanted something a little bit more vampy. So I went over it with the Blend Bunny matte lip cream in Haunting, which I also don't know if they sell this one anymore. It's like a kind of maroony color. It's so beautiful. And then I went in with my usual Tarte Platinum mascara, you know the deal, and I used my usual DHC liquid liner to create a wing, and that is basically all I did off camera to complete this look. I'm feeling real sexy with this one. So that was it. I think we should now get into the last look. All right, loves, let's get into this final look. I went ahead and already applied blush since you've seen me apply all of these lethal blushes, but I did go ahead and mix all three of the like cream to like powder formulas, and it came out to be like an orangey pink blush on the cheeks, which I think is really pretty. And I did also already put on the highlighter and just kind of swirled into the pan and just did it that way. And let me add a little bit more. I feel like I lost some when I went in with some powder. Now we can get into the final palette, the Dark Winter palette. And I am really attracted to the green and like the brown in here. So that is what I'm going to do for this look. So let's start off with Frosty, the brown. I don't know if that gives me Frosty, but we're gonna work with it. And I did also prime my eyes, by the way, with the Glamlite Icing Eyeshadow Base and Buttercream, and did not set it. So let me tap out these creases. And we can start off with the brown on the outer edge here. It's quite deep and pigmented. The thing with Electrum Cosmetics is I swear their mattes don't swatch the best typically, but they perform really well on the eyes. So do not judge a palette by its swatches. And I want to get into this Scotty shade right here, this beautiful green, and I'm going to put that in the inner portion. And I'm gonna work slowly because this does seem to be like a somewhat deeper green. Well, no, actually it's more of a mid-tone, but I'm gonna concentrate that right here in the front. And then I'm gonna go into the shade called, is it Dreary? Yes, this one right here. It's like a light, kind of grayish green, but I'm gonna plop that in the front a bit and then use that to blend out the edge of the green. Let's go into some of the shimmers because I really want to dive into the shade called Winter. This one has like such a cool shift to it, but there's like definitely a red shift, and I want to use that over the brown. Like I feel like with a brown matte, it's gonna give it a little bit more of a brown kind of vibe, especially over the brown matte. And look at that. Look at that intense reddish shine from that. I love that. But there is like a brown bronzy element to it. And now I have to take Crisp, this green. It's like so bright and vivid and just screaming my name. And it might even have a little bit of a blue shift to it. But you know, this is some of my favorite kind of shifty metallics. It's these kind of greens. Oh my god, look at that. Wow, that is stunning. And now for what I want to use in the inner corner, which is Gray All Day. It's kind of a cooler sage green, but I think it will work in the inner corner because it's light. I didn't even have to wet my brush. Just glide it right on. Picks up really well. And that is stunning in the inner corner. So for the lower lash line, should we do something unexpected down there? You think purple would look weird down there? I don't know. Why don't we take a gamble and see if we like a purple moment under there? I might regret it, but I wanted to use more shadow, so I'm gonna just go right into Cabin. Typically I would just like keep it a two-tone look, but I don't know. I just want to do something unexpected down there. And I'll take the frosty shade, the brown, and use that on like the edge because it does have a good amount of depth, and I'm just gonna lay it over the other outer corner and kind of match it up to the top. Then I'm gonna go into the shade called Frostbite, which is kind of like a grayish lavender. I'm gonna use that to blend out the edge of that shade and just soften the edges up a bit. For the inner portion, I kind of want to use, oh my god, I don't know. I think I want to use this one. Is it Era? Oh my god, it's a holochrome. Or should I go into Winter Winds? I think I want to go with what I think is Era because it looks so cool and I love a holochrome moment. And I'm going to wet my brush for this because I don't want to get too much shimmer fallout. Want it to smooth on well, so I shouldn't have picked up so much. But who doesn't want like a little holochrome moment on the lower lash line? And then for the brow bone, I think I'm just going to use the same shade I used for the inner corner, which is the Gray All Day shade. Just to get the green up there. And I think that's it. I think I do need to like kind of build up the purple on the lower part a little bit more. I feel like I need to shape out this outer edge a little better. Bring in some more mattes on the crease up here. Do my other eye. Figure out if I'm going to add anything extra or not. And do a lippie, and I will be back to show you guys the completed look. All right, my loves, I am back, and here is the completed look, and I love it so much, but I think I loved every look in this video, and I just love the combo of the brown and the green up here with a little like pop of purple on the lower lash line, and I just felt the need to add gems. I just want it to be extra sparkly with this look, even though it's pretty sparkly on its own with these stunning shimmers. So let me lower the brightness because you have to see the beauty of these metallics. Like, look at these, look at that. Do you see the sparkle? I don't know if you can see the shift, like that reddish one. There's something green about it and bronzy, and then the inner portion. And then I'm sure you guys can't tell on the lower lash line, it's like a holochrome situation with that shimmer. And my little gems, I put 4 brown gems, 4 like shifty green gems in the front. And I love how that turned out. I just had to show you guys this formula from Electrum is so good. And the gems I use is from my pack that I got from Adept Cosmetics when they used to be a open brand. And then for the rest of the look, the usual platinum Tarte mascara that I always go into, the typical DHC liquid liner to create a wing. And then for my lip, I did this little combo. I used the Nabla Close Up Lip Shaper and nude number 3, beautiful kind of warmer brown. And then I went over that with the Adept Cosmetics Lip Cream and Airwave, a nice little nudie brown shade. And I think that just pairs really nicely with like the brown tones that I have in my eye look. And it's a little like toned down so you can focus on the magnificentness of this eye look. Oh, it's so beautiful. I knew I was gonna love it. Like, I swear, Electrum nails it, especially with the shimmers. And then they have a nice matte formula. So I'm really happy with this last look. I am ready to like zoom out a bit and give you guys like my final first impressions on all of these products. We've made it to the end of another multiple looks video. These take me forever to put together, but they're so worth it. I love testing a bunch of different palettes and getting to create a bunch of different looks, tap into my creative side. And I really like a lot of these palettes. They're cool tone, smoky, sexy. I love them all. But let me start off with the Adept Cosmetics. So I'll first start off with the cheek product. So I really do like these cream to powder blushes, the ones that are more matte and bouncy, that really remind me of the ColourPop. Is it the Super Shock matte blushes that they have, the cream blushes? They're so similar to those, or the J-Cat. Is it like the Mellow blushes, bounce blush? I can't remember the exact name, but I've talked about them before, that just bouncy cream to powder. Now I feel like you could easily get this, you know, from ColourPop, which I think would be more easily accessible, especially because there's a lot of custom fees to get these from Lethal. And I think if you try to go with Camera Ready Cosmetics, it kind of incorporated the custom fees into the cost of the products, so they come out to be quite pricey. I really like the formula. I love the pink, the lavender, and the orange. Like, I think they picked like perfect shades that are just like really in right now. I don't know if necessarily they're totally deep enough for like deeper skin tones, maybe the orange one, but I do feel like overall like the pink and the purple one is more for like a medium to lighter skin tone. I wish they had a blush that went like even deeper, which I do feel like this has a good amount of depth. The more like dewy one that's like looks like a black cream blush, and then it kind of goes to like a reddish cooler tone moment. I almost felt like this one made my cheeks look a little bruised, and for some reason I feel like it was like a little harder to blend into my foundation. It has like a almost lip balmy feel, so I'm pretty sure this would probably be a better shade if you had like a deeper skin tone. But I'm not into those like really balmy blushes, and this, because it has that like purplish cooler undertone, bluish undertone almost, it makes my cheeks look bruised, and I'm just not a fan of this kind of more dewy-esque formula. And then for the Lady Rainicorn highlighter, I think this is beautiful, but it is your typical like rainbow iridescent highlighter that has like the different rainbow strips. I was able to like kind of go into each end and like customize the highlighter that I want. Like if I wanted more of a pinky one, more of a blue one. It's a little hard because the strips are small on this one, and there is a little bit of an icy kind of whitish base to it. So I do feel like if you have deeper skin than me and up, I do feel like this might leave a little bit of a cast on the skin because of that kind of whitish base that this has. But I still think it's really beautiful. It's super sparkly. It's stunning. I love like the different colors in it. Then we're gonna get into the eyeshadow palette, which I think this is ultimately my favorite product out of the products that I got from the Adventure Time collection, because there was a lot more things that I did not pick up. But I love the mattes in here. Very pigmented, beautiful pastels. I think the shimmers are really beautiful. They are definitely more flaky, a little bit more sparkly. You might have some sparkle fallout. This is definitely a palette you want to do your eye makeup first if you don't want shimmer all over the cheeks, and probably want to use like a glitter primer, a glitter glue to help the shimmers really stick to the lids, because I do feel like it's a little bit more looser, a little bit more flaky. I know someone mentioned that someone had an issue with like the shimmers falling in their eyes, so I highly recommend using a very tacky base to put on these shimmers. I'm used to experiencing that from like a lot of indie brands, and I prefer an extra sparkly, flaky shimmer. And then the mattes are absolutely stunning. Now, I do feel like you can basically get like this quality of mattes from the Sickly Sweet palette from Blend Money, which I have done a comparison to this palette to a bunch of pastel palettes. If you want to check that video out, if you haven't, I'll link it below. I'll put up in the corner in case you're trying to find an alternative, because yet again, customs is quite high to get this product in your hands, unless of course you're in Europe, because they're based out of Germany. Then, you know, it's easier to get it. And then we're gonna get into the next palette. So let's see, I'll get into the Lord of the Rings one. I think this is really pretty. I love this muted color story. Is this not gorgeous? I think that this will really appeal to people who like more muted tones, more earthy tones. I thought everything performed as expected from Glamlite. I think this color story totally matches the Lord of the Rings. I really do feel like they nailed this collab. Some of their collabs I'm like, I don't know about, but this one, they did the Lord of the Rings justice, I think, especially with like the packaging, the presentation was really beautiful on this. And I think the shimmers are really nice. Some are actually extra sparkly than what I remember from Glamlite, but they're definitely on the more smoother end. So if that's what you prefer, a smoother metallic formula, then, you know, Glamlite has that. It's definitely similar to like Blend Bunny's shimmer formula, but they're nice. And I really like this. The only thing I would say, maybe there's not any true light shades. Well, this Mary shade is able to work as an inner corner highlight, and Galadriel. But I feel like if you have a very fair skin tone, I think maybe Galadriel would be the only one that could really be like a true lightning inner corner shade. But I really love this. Then we'll get into the Emo palette, which a lot of these palettes were giving like muted vibes and cool tone vibes, but this one is so beautiful. I love this. But Adept Cosmetics never fails me with their shimmers, with their color stories. Their mattes have gotten so good. Then these have a bunch of holochrome sparkly shades. These are that more flaky sparkly formula, so if you want a smoother one, I don't necessarily think this would feel that neat. But if you want sparkle, you want holochromes, you want all that glittery goodness without, you know, actually glitter in it, I mean like sparkly goodness, then I think you would really love this. And if you're into a more cooler grayish scale, I feel like everything leans a little bit more on the grayish undertone, the greens, the purple, the blue, which I like. I'm really feeling these more cooler tone palettes that have been coming out lately, and I think it's a nice little color combo. You have things for inner corner highlights, you have deepening shades, and it's another banger to me from Adept Cosmetics. And I forgot to mention, or did I mention, I do have a code with Adept Cosmetics. It is Breezy Beauty if you want to save some money off. They have stunning, stunning shadows. And then we're going to get into this Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette. This one I think is really beautiful. I mean, I think this covers a lot of needs when it comes to nudie shades. If you're needing cool tones or warm tones and you want some fun little twist to your nudie palette, because it has like these kind of grungy tones right here with the grungy green and the grungy little mustard, so it makes it a little bit more interesting. You got a little bit of a burgundy pinkish moment, and this black metallic, oh, it is so sparkly. It's straight up like a starry night sky on the eyes. My favorite thus far for a black metallic. And I do feel like the metallics in here are extra sparkly versus the original Nearly Natural, but I love that one at the same level as I love this one. I think the formula is just as good. The shimmers are really beautiful in that one as well. I just feel like this is somewhat of a different shimmer formula. I do feel like the mattes are pretty consistent from the original Nearly Natural, and I don't think you necessarily need this one if you already have the original. This is just like a little bit more of a expanded color story. It's kind of like a mix of Barely Basic and Nearly Natural into one, like if they had a baby, those two palettes from them. And Electrum has killed it again with this stunning palette. I love the other one that I picked up from them, and I love this too. It's like, you know, a little bit more muted, dark, wintry tones. It took a while to get to me, but Electrum is like a small indie brand, so they have pre-orders. It takes a while for them to produce. I think maybe these are hand pressed, not totally sure, but it took months to get to me, and it was totally worth the wait. I mean, we're in summer and I'm just finally playing with a winter theme palette, but it's okay. I still love it. I definitely want to try more from the brand. If they release new palettes, I'm on it, because I really, really love their metallic formula. They have these beautiful shifty shimmers in here. They're not like extra flaky. They're quite smooth, but then they still disperse like a sparkle effect on the eyes, like this green and this like browny reddish one. And I mean, every now and then they'll have some that are a little bit more flaky. You got a holochrome in here, and then these tones, I mean, they gave you good deepening shades in here. Overall, I would say it leans a little dark. I do feel like I could pull this one off and this one off as inner corner highlights, but I feel like if you're really fair, because these have like some color to it, they might not be light enough, but you could easily pull in a highlighter or something like that, because these two lighter shades aren't like really true pastel. And I do feel like there's maybe a little bit of a repetitive moment here, and it's just with these two blues down here. I don't feel like we necessarily needed both, but I do feel like maybe this leans more tealish, this leans more truer blue, and I do wish that these like lighter tones were a little bit more lighter, leaning more pastel, so I could have used them as inner corner pops, but that's just personal preference. I still think the color store is absolutely amazing, and you're definitely going to be able to create some stunning like wintry looks with this. So another banger. But that was my thoughts on all of the products, all the looks that I was able to create and come up with. But you guys will now have to let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments below? What did you think of the looks? Have you tried any of these palettes? I would just love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot on beauty and all that good stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the palettes linked. I'll have that swatch video comparison that I did with these palettes if you're wanting to see other options that could be similar to these that you might already have in your collection. I will also link other videos of mine you might be interested in watching, as well as my foundation, makeup, all that, in case you're curious what is on my face. I pretty much wear the same like base makeup for all the looks, so it makes it easier when I'm like linking my makeup. And I will have my discount codes. Like I said, I have one with Adept Cosmetics, it's bricbeauty, as well as like Gourmande Girls, DedeSignature, Wicked Widow Beauty. It's all bricbeauty. And I will also have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Brici Lifestyle and Brici_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, supporting my channel, being amazing. I just appreciate you guys all so much. And I hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.